Ooh, camera's on you already. Well, guys, we're live here on thebeautifulminds.com. This is our Facebook live stream. This is Tiffany to your left, and Rahiem to your right. I'm here at Bethesda
Healing Center.
There we go. This is 2017 Youth Convention, Say Something. And I've been blown away. You guys are not much older than I am, or probably, how old are you?
20.
It's 20. Jesus, I'm 23. And it's pretty awe-inspiring what just happened. So can you guys explain to me what I just saw, pretty much? What was the 2017 Youth Convention about?
So our theme is to say something, right? So that theme came up because our church now is moving towards evangelism. We're located in the heart of Brownsville. And we feel like there's a lot of young people out there, our age group, that is suffering from, domestic violence, abuse, mentally ill, and all kind of, ailments that you could think of. And we just want to focus on those individuals. We want to draw them into our church and let them know, that God cares about them, that He's all about His people. He cares for His people. So we came up with the theme, Say Something. So God say things to us all the time. We're coming to church Sunday after Sunday. We're getting fed. So what about the community outside of the four corners of the church? We have to go outside, let these people know that, God is there, He exists, and our ultimate goal is to get them to know that, He cares about them. Wow. So we came up with this theme, Say Something. So we want to say something to the world to let them know, that God is real, He cares about you. And, church is not boring. Come to church, enjoy. I'm sure if you were here, oh my gosh, you will just feel like you were in a concert, but worshiping God.
I'm gonna interject there a little bit. I actually was a little bit surprised the production value that was put on there. You typically don't see that kind of production at a
lot of people
event.
think that church is you come with your broad hat, long skirt, but look at what we're wearing. Just we're chill,
Right.
God doesn't. I don't feel like God cares about your appearance. I think He cares more about your heart, who you are. Because when He comes back, He's not looking for what you're wearing or how you look. It's like, where is Marlon? Where is Rahiem? Where's Tiffany? That's what I want to see. I don't want to see your outward appearance, but that doesn't matter to me.
Right. Wow. And Rahiem, you had a wonderful. I mean, I don't know how to even explain exactly how I felt. And now knowing that you're 20 years old, you're so well spoken, and then the message behind that, it touched me personally because the Beautiful Minds has been an idea of mine for about 2 or 3 years now, and I never wanted to listen to what the little voice in the back of my head that was telling me that you don't have the answers, but you can find it, and you're pointing out problems, but you're not finding the answers. And I was always looking at the negative things in the community as opposed to trying to go out there and find what's right in the world. And it wasn't until, I believe, end of last year, 2016, September 2016, I want to say, I finally got up the nerve to I'm going to do this, and I started planning it. And it was like I was sitting there, you were explaining 2016 to me when you finally listened to that voice in the back of your head. Can you explain to me what that was like?
Before I get into that, for those of you who wanted to see what the experience was like tonight, you could follow me on Facebook at Rahiem Williams.
I'll tag you.
You can tag me in it, and the live stream from tonight was there, and from last night was there. Touching on where did I get this message from? 2016. So last year in 2016, around in August, I had a little life-altering moment, you could say. I was coming, I stepped out, as I said in my message, I stepped out of church to see what the world was like. And in the one step out that I did, I got stabbed 3 times. I went to a party. But not only that, because my mom said it today too, because a lot of people get stabbed on a daily basis, right? And this is not me demeanoring the situation that happened, but I got stabbed, and my best friend, my bro, he got stabbed too. But he passed, but I'm still here. So in that, it's like my mom said that there's a message behind that. It's sad that he passed, and yes, it is sad because my life since that day has been so altered. I went through a season of depression to the point where I was not going to come to this church anymore. I was not going to trust in God anymore. I started questioning God, who God is. Why would he do something like that? He's all-knowing and all these things and stuff. But in the midst of that, I wasn't listening to what God was saying. And when it was in December that Pastor Novell, he messaged me and he said that you're going to be ministering on Saturday. And I was like, I'm not ready for this, but I'm just going to do it. And I struggled to find a topic to preach on it. And then I realized but this year when Bishop did the I Am thing, we sang a song named I Am. And from there was a switch, like there was a turn on switch back to not the old Rahiem before August 28th, but a transformation to a new person that brought the things before August 28th to that day, but it was elevated. But I still didn't have my topic yet. It was this past Sunday when somebody came into the church.
Right, on
and
Sunday.
Delivered her testimony saying that the day that I sang I Am, she was healed through my voice. It was her because she was feeling all these different types of demons going on with her. She had short of breath and stuff like that. And when she heard me say I Am and heard me sing, she didn't feel that after that. And it's through that, it clicked to me that I need to start listening to God. But it went deeper for me because I realized that we've always been listening to God. But not have we always been listening to God, but God has always been speaking to us. Since the beginning of time, he's always spoken to us. But some of us are not listening. And some of us were listening, but aren't listening anymore. So that whole thing grew out, that theme grew out of a whole life-altering situation, a comeback, and...
Wow, I mean...
Powerful,
you just threw a lot. I mean, how going back to that moment back in August, right? And knowing that how you felt after, how would you feel like moving forward? I can imagine that's done something to you moving forward, knowing that there's so many kids out there who aren't gonna come out of that, mentally, physically, emotionally, and how do you feel knowing that?
I don't know, like, honestly.
Do you sympathize with them, or is it?
I'll give you a better one. It's crazy all this is going on because the one question that I still had.
How about you ask yourself, why did I survive? Is that?
No. Yes.
I know some people would say that. Why my friend died and why did I make it?
Okay.
That was actually a question that I had that question even after what happened at Summer Bishop. But it was last week where I was at an organization that I'm in on campus back in school. They had the viewing of the 13th. And while I was watching the 13th, there was a friend that I met in a religious class that I have. And we were talking, like, this was our first day. This was the first day we started talking. And we were talking about faith and stuff like that. I told her about the situation that I went through, just so she could know who I am and stuff like that. Because she was asking me, like, how do you, like, what's going on? Like, how do you know faith is real? I'm just like, this and such happened. And this is when I realized that God has always spoken. God is still speaking. Because she lost a friend to cancer. And she didn't know how to deal with it. And she had all the questions that I had for God. She didn't know where to turn and how to answer these questions.
Such a coincidence that you guys...
But I had the same thing, and I had the answers because I've been through it, and she just started going through it. So with that being said, it's like, that was my answer from God, saying that I'm still speaking in the midst of what you're going through.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why you had to go through this, so that when people come up to you with the same situations or other situations that you've been through, you'll have an answer for them because you've already been through it. Something personal that I feel like is God has put me through a lot of things, so whatever I've been through, I can speak to others. I've realized that every situation I've been through in my life, all my friends derive from those situations.
And I find that to be a crazy thing about God. Like, you always ask, why are you allowing me to go through these situations? You know, like, why? And then it's like 5, 6 years, same issue. And it's like, when am I going to get through this? But I feel like the whole point of it all, as you said, is that you have to go through these situations so that you could go ahead and help people out.
Right.
Because, you know, Rahiem, you getting stabbed, now you lost your friend, and you're able to go and, you know,
Exactly.
help somebody else. I just think that's a very important thing, that, you know, whatever process you're going through, whatever process God is taking you through, just, it sounds cliche, but just stay in it, go through it, grow from it, experience it, and just see where God takes you.
The way I look at life now is like this: you can't preach to this generation using everything from the Bible.
Exactly.
You preach to them or minister to them through the relationship, your own relationship with God. That's how I believe you can win this generation. It's through your own relationship, your own situations that you've been through, and who you can relate to. Because if I go up to somebody that's out there in the world and say, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, what are they going to relate to today?
Right.
But if I go to that person and say, "How you doing, my brother?" and he just starts opening up to me from how you doing, just like, my dad isn't in my life. He's like, okay, I know how you feel. My dad wasn't there for me. Oh, I just lost my best friend. I know how that feels. See, then there's a relation right there, and they ask you, how do you get through it? You start talking about your relationship with God, and through that, a life can be changed.
Right.
That can be a life-altering moment.
Wow. I mean, I had a series of questions to ask you guys, and you just knocked them all out. But I guess I just want to ask you guys personally, you know, moving forward, you know, where do you plan to, you know, what impact do you plan on making in your communities? And
Right. So for me right now, our church theme is live by faith.
Solve your fears.
Feed your faith. And live in His grace, right?
all right.
And the theme is say something. Our youth convention, say something. And you're on a train, you're walking past somebody that's homeless, and you know you have that desire to want to go up and say something to that person.
Right.
You know, God loves you. Can I pray for you? Do you want anything to eat? But then again, I'm starting thinking, maybe not, because that person might not want that. You know, they might start cussing. Because that happened to me before, where I walked up to this guy, I saw him digging in the garbage can, and I had a banana, and I offered it to him. He said, "No, I don't want it." I'm like, all right, I thought that you were in need of it, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is now, from this convention, when I leave, I want to be able to be strong, bold, and courageous, not to be afraid to say what God is saying to me to tell His people. I'm on the train, I feel this, you know, desire to want to say something to somebody, but I'm like, darn it, like, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? Will they receive it? So I that's what I want to leave from with this convention, just to be able to be bold and courageous and, you know, step into what God has called me to do.
For me, I've never liked to put myself just in one area. See, I want this whole community to change, but I like distance. Because I feel like long distance, there's just something about it where you're just like, it's a longer goal.
What do you mean by long distance?
Yeah, what do you mean by
Like,
long distance?
Long-term
goal,
I'm
or?
gonna get there. See, I'm away at school up in Ithaca, New York.
Okay.
And what I want to do is a 5-hour trip. And what I see myself doing is whatever towns that I'm going through in those 5 hours, I want God's presence so heavily on me that as I travel through them, it's left there. So that when I reach Ithaca, while Brownsville is being impacted, Ithaca can be impacted also. What I take away from this convention, I want to bring to the neighborhoods in Ithaca, because what I really, I'm in a small town where I go to school. And the same things that are going on here, it might not be the gangsters and stuff like that, because it's like a rural urban neighborhood. But you still have the pimps, you still have the homeless people, you still have the prostitutes in the corner. And how we're changing it here, we're going to change it there, because God's words to reach the nations. So I
You
want
can't just have his word and sit on it being fed
exactly.
week after week.
Because my thing is that I will never go against the word over this house or the vision or mission over this house. But I asked the question: after you reach Brownsville, where do you go from there?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be one step
Right.
ahead.
Because I mean, like we're here, we go out, we give out tracts, we pray for people, we give them food, we have worship sessions outside when it's warm. And after we leave, then
And
what
what?
next,
Right.
you know? So I guess now it's just to develop a plan or ask God, because that's one thing I've been asking God, like, God, can you give us a plan? Because if you go out and say God loves you and so forth, you give them a track, what's next, you
Right.
know?
You know, I'm gonna definitely have to follow up with you guys again in a few months,
Cool.
because you guys definitely are, you know, you seem as if you can. I don't know what you guys will be up to in a few months.
Yeah, check me out, Tiffany Shantae Thomas. See me soon on TV. There you go.
You be the guy, I know. Trust me. I'm gonna name drop your name. And
Rah rah.
Nothing
to the
rah
world.
rah to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, follow me on Instagram, Tiffany Shantae. That's Tiffany SHAUNTE, and I'll follow back.
There you
all
go.
right.
Ain't nothing really popping on for me right now. You know what I'm saying? But you can still follow me on Facebook, Rahiem Williams, or follow me on Instagram. I think it's Supreme_Raw96. There we go, something like that. I don't know, man. Just
No, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out. You've been officially my first Facebook Live
Really
interview.
amazing.
Yesterday we got to cut it short because of technical difficulties, but this is the first full one, and thank you guys so much.
No problem.
And
Don't go. Wait. Join us, 167 East 98th Street,
yeah,
Brooklyn, New York.
shameless plug.
Wait, is it 11212? It's called Bethesda Healing Center. All right.
All right.
come
Close
up,
out
we
tomorrow.
turn up for Jesus. It's
Yes.
not like old church where you got to wear a hat, skirt,
I mean-
well, full body coat, or anything like that.
To be honest, I Facebook. I went live with one of your performances, and I
Okay.
wanted to tag it "Turn Up for Jesus," but I'm like, that's disrespectful. I want to do that. I didn't know it. I didn't want to offend anyone, but that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much.
No problem.
problem.
Thank you.